Hello everyone. In this lecture we are going to learn about the various diversity techniques we have in wireless communication. So before going into the different type of diversity techniques, I would like to say some important things with regard to the diversity patterns. So why we need diversity in communication system, and the different techniques when we adapt for in the communication method, and what are the benefits we get. So that is the things comprises in this lecture content. So first of all, when we say about a diversity, that is by providing diversity in what environment, that is the main thing now. So here we say that the radio propagation channel is one of the main thing which we need to consider, and the nature of the channel we cannot predict. The channel estimation is important here, and with diversity techniques we can able to find a signal path to communicate between the transmitter and between the receiver. And also this method improve the level of the signal to noise ratio while we receive the signals, because we know that there are the media at which the data is moving is free air media there, due to the environment, due to the terrain profile. So a lot of things can happen. So with a powerful diversity method, we can able to improve the link capacity, we can improve the channel capacity, and overall we can attain good performance in the communication. So at low cost we can able to implement the wireless link, and here no training or something like that method is not needed. And also the diversity scheme will be used to develop information. That is what kind of information? That is when several symbols are moving, that is the information are moving on the channel. So after it was getting transmitted, and how we will be receiving it, and based on the fading, based on the kind of the propagation models, so this may differ. And small scale fading, we know that it causes deep fade in a small scale proportionate level. So within a short period of wavelength, the signal will be getting faded, and this may be due to even movement of the mobile device from the transmitting spot. So in different way we can able to say. So consider a scenario where we can say about, that is, antennas can be separated while we implement or while we deploy this antenna diversity technique. We normally place apart the antennas by 0.5 meter or 1 meter or 4 meter or 5 meter away. So in each of the particular antennas the signals will be getting received. So if one area, if signal is not good, but in the another terminal, another antenna terminal, we can able to receive a good signal strength. So by selecting the best signal at all time, the receiver can able to mitigate the effects of fading, such as the small scale fading. And this kind of technique, that is by means of antenna and by providing spatial diversity, we can able to make the communication very effective, subject to the base station location and the mobile location. So this concept is called actually antenna diversity. So two type of diversity exist. One is micro diversity and one is macro diversity. And as we know, micro diversity happens in the area where small scale fading occurs, and macro diversity that we highlight in the area where, that is for larger scale propagation model and its effects, the factors, the parameters which cause the impact in the larger scale movement. So for long distance, when we transmit the signal and when we try to receive it, there the thing comes where we need to deploy macroscopic diversity. Then practical space diversity considerations. So antenna diversity is called as space diversity. The most popular forms of the diversity is in wireless media, and here everything is based with base station location and mobile antenna locations. because mostly the mobile users will be moving out. So based on that, a small displacement will be there always, and we cannot able to expect always a guaranteed path between the transmitter and the receiver. So it may in the view of non-line of sight. So non-line of sight means we can use the word Rayleigh fading signal. So Rayleigh fading exists in most areas in the outdoor environments. There is one practical consideration we need to make. Then coming to the term of space diversity, the concept of the antenna space diversity is used in base station design, and at each cell site multiple base station receiving antennas will be located, and in this spot we will deploy this diversity concept. How we will deploy this? That is, the base station antennas will be separated by a small meter apart, and finally we can able to provide the diversity pattern. So diversity means the signal can be able to get transmitted, or we can able to receive. So one to one getting decorrelated. So that is the main part here. We won't allow the signal to get correlated. We will always make to decorrelate while we transmit the signal. So this is a simple thing with space diversity. Otherwise we can use the word antenna diversity. So here you can see different antenna elements are there. We are trying to receive the signal. The signal to noise ratio level in this antenna is not same as in 2R, 3R up to this M. Here gain is variable, so depends on the signal level and its power ratio, the gain value will be differing. And among these all, the one with the highest SNR, that will be connected to the demodulator, and that will be taken as output. So that is a thing which we have in this space diversity. So thus we are improving the link performance. Then the first method we have to consider is selection diversity. It is the simplest one, simplest method. Here average improvement in the link will be given without requiring any additional transmitters or without improving any transmitting power or in the receiving side. And also it is easy to implement. The only thing is we need to monitor the station performance, and we need to keep up the level of the antenna getting in space so that we can able to achieve this. So the same diagram is actually for the antenna selection diversity. Okay, so select among the different antenna elements with the high power. Then next what you have is feedback or scanning diversity. So here the main thing is concept lies in scanning among the signals arriving to the receiver and noting down the SNR level based on the pre-threshold level already fixed out, and that will be connected, and that is actually given to the demodulator. So this is considered as a simple method to implement. So hence more number of receivers are not needed in this regard. So here you are viewing the diagram. There is a diversity with a scanning concept. So the receiver will be keep on scanning among the arriving signal components. It will connect to the particular receiver, the component where it gets that reasonable SNR value, and that will be actually verified here with an average rate with the comparator, and comparator upon this preset threshold level. For example, if 30 dB is actually the limit we fix here, so the arriving signal, if it drops below this 30 dB, that won't be getting connected. So the signal at the level is above 30 dB, that will be taken here, and that will be selected with this switching concept. So then compared, and finally we are getting the output. So that is a concept here we have in this feedback or scanning diversity. Next what you have is maximal ratio combining. So this method is actually proposed by Kahn. So here what is the main thing is we normally fix the antenna elements, n number of antenna elements with gain factors. We monitor the gain value based on the signal getting received. So what is the main thing is we combine all the signals in a co-phased way, and all the phases are combined and weighted, and finally we are taking the sum as the output. So here we can able to achieve the signal to noise ratio at the receiver the best way possible. So why this is called a maximal ratio combining? Because considering the M branches which are maximal ratio, so while we combine the phase and we make up this weight factors with the gain, we can able to achieve the required amount of the SNR in the receiver side. So this is a diagram. So as normal antenna arrays with the gain factors, observing the gain factor, combining everything, all the phase and getting summed up finally with the threshold limit, we are detecting the signal and given connected to the demodulator. So that is achieved with the, so finally what do you get? We can able to attain the maximum ratio up to the level of SNR. So which produces an output with an acceptable SNR even when none of the individual signals are acceptable. So if 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, among these all individually the SNR rate is less also, but once it is getting combined and finally we can able to achieve the SNR. And now the final thing is, what do you have? Equal gain combining diversity. So this is the same relevant to this only. Here what is the main thing? The slight difference is the branch weight factors are actually already set to unity, and the signals from each branch will be again co-phased and finally combined. So the gain values are actually combined here to get the diversity, and always we get the acceptable signal level. And the advantage is the maximum performance is only marginally inferior to maximum ratio combining, and it is superior to the normal selection diversity. So these were the different type of diversity techniques we have in this wireless communication, and that's all in this lecture today.